do-it-all machine. So if you wanted all of your property maintenance to be done with one machine, this could be it. This is a hybrid commercial zero-turn lawnmower. So this is Bad Boy's entry to the mini skid steer market. So not only has Bad Boy built the strongest finish mower on the market, but also the easiest to use. Hey, this is Jake with the Tractor Yard, and today I'm in Orlando, Florida at the 2025 National Dealer Meeting for Bad Boy Mowers. Now this year we've got some exciting new products to look at. Bad Boy's been in the mower business since 2002, but recently in the last several years they've been adding a lot of exciting products. They've added the Bad Boy tractors, they've added the Bandit, handheld equipment, trimmers, blowers, chainsaws. This year they're adding a couple things that I've been really excited about, and one that I wasn't expecting at all. And so we'll take a little bit of a dive into what Bad Boy's got for us coming in 2026. We'll look at specs, pricing, and just a little bit of an overview on what they've got to talk about. Just a couple of subtle changes they're making to their mower line, mostly staying the same, but the Elite and the Maverick are getting this slanted front edge design on the deck that they had just updated this past year in 2024 with the Avenger and below. So this is a nice design that's going to allow more lift, a little bit more dynamic design on that deck. What they're also doing is updating a few of the seats. So on the Elites and on the Mavericks, we have new seats for 2026. They're extremely comfortable seats. They look great. And better than that, they're including the ISO seat standard. So this is kind of a pseudo suspension seat that gives you a little bit of give without that big price tag. So here's a quick look at a few of the new products, the more exciting ones. So this is the Revolt Fury. It's basically just a big badass zero-turn blower. They've got a Recon, which is their entry into the mini track loader market. And then this thing. So this is an articulating wheel loader that they're calling the Terrain. In addition to that, they've added a ton of implements to their implement lineup to support these new products. And they've also added finish mowers to their implement lineup. And these are some extremely well-built finish mowers. And in Oklahoma, we don't care a whole lot about the snow pushers and the snow blowers, but they do have a lineup of those now as well. Tractor side of things, this was actually an addition last year, but I haven't seen a whole lot of content about it. And this 12-foot flex wing that Bad Boy's building is extremely reasonably priced and well built. So if you're in the market for a big cutter, definitely check out the Bad Boy Flex Wing, because I can almost guarantee you the price is going to be better than what you're shopping, and the build quality and the fact that it's made here in Batesville, Arkansas is definitely something to consider. So what the heck is this thing? So this is a compact articulating wheel loader, and it's pretty unique compared to some other options that you might see on the market. This articulating wheel loader, first thing that kind of makes it stand out is the entire tail doesn't spin, but it's got an axle that pivots there right underneath the operator stand, and that's what spins, that's what turns. So that feature makes it stand out, but it also gives it some benefits that some of its competitors do not have. So you get the benefit of being able to distribute your weight in a more efficient way. They're also able to extend the loader itself, the loader frame, all the way back behind the operator, which is something that you don't see on a lot of these wheel loaders because their design prohibits that. And that makes this thing lift more. It makes it ride smoother. It makes it more intuitive to drive. It's just a really unique machine in a lot of ways. Quality of this machine is pretty indicative of the rest of Bad Boy's lineup. Actually, Bad Boy acquired a company out of North Dakota that are making these machines. So everything's going to be produced there in North Dakota, distributed out of North Dakota, and that entire team, at least for the most part, from what I understand, is going to stay on with Bad Boy and help with the support of this product. Made in the USA. Don't know if there's any other wheel loaders on the market that can claim that. So this thing really is surprisingly smooth to operate. Also, you can notice that as he turns around, especially turns sharp, you don't disturb that ground at all. Now, there's a lot more information that I want to share on this machine, but I don't want to clutter up this overview video. So we'll be making a separate video just about the terrain, where I'm also going to interview the man behind the machine and the company that Bad Boy purchased in North Dakota that's going to be doing most and all of the manufacturing and support. This is a gasoline engine, and the reason that they went with the gasoline engine on this machine, you're not having to deal with the emissions of a diesel engine putting out 40 horsepower, whereas a lot of these smaller machines, guys stuff a 25 horse diesel in there because they're trying to get around the emissions. So you're getting more horsepower for your money, you're getting an extremely reliable engine, and they're able to output 19 GPM to the auxiliary hydraulics because they're able to stuff more horsepower in this small package. So at 19 GPM, this little machine can run most any implement you want. Pretty much any skid steer implement's going to fit on the front of this because it's a standard skid steer quick attach. So, I mean, you can mow with this thing, you can maintain your drive load with this thing, move material around. This is a truly do-it-all machine. So if you wanted all of your property maintenance to be done with one machine, this could be it. You can think of this as like driving like a hydrostatic transmission tractor. You've got your steering wheel, your loader joystick on the right, reverse pedal, forward pedal, and throttle. Something unique here is this is your auxiliary control for the hydraulics. So not only do you have a neutral, forward, and reverse option here, but you actually can control the flow rate by setting this lever in these different positions. So no matter what implement you're running on this thing, you have a lot of options and a lot of fine-tuning that you can do, which really makes this thing versatile. So this is kind of the preliminary pricing on this machine. So like I said, mid-40s is I think where you're going to see most dealers selling this machine, this upgraded machine, with the enclosed cab, heat and AC, and hydraulic quick attach for the front loader. A couple key features, like I said before, the 40 horsepower Vanguard, 9.3 gallons of fuel capacity, 19 GPM of hydraulic flow. Comes standard with turf tires, or it has these industrial tires also as an option. Has the lights and the beacon, electric diff locks. This thing does act like a real four-wheel drive machine. So, if you've had any time on an actual wheel loader, like a skid steer wheel loader, those things don't do very good in wet conditions in my experience. And the guys who've been testing these are saying that these are leaps and bounds better than a traditional wheel loader just because of how they're driven. So that does have the premium suspension seat that you'll see on most of the Bad Boy mowers that I was sitting on. And when I drove this thing yesterday, it's very, very comfortable. Surprisingly comfortable, especially compared to a skid steer. Another big noticeable thing is the visibility out of this machine. So when you're sitting in here, you can see all the way around you. You can actually look down through this glass and see this rear tire. So if you're in a super tight condition, you'll be able to see which direction that tire is pointed by just glancing down over your left hip. Also behind you, so they've sloped this hood for the engine so that when you're looking back behind you, you've got a full field of view. Nothing's blocking you. So the next machine that we want to discuss here is going to be the Recon. So this is Bad Boy's entry to the mini skid steer market. And if you look at this and think that it looks a little bit familiar, that's because this is largely based off of the Giant design. So that's a pretty popular skid steer brand in Europe, and they build a very stout machine. And Bad Boy's actually gone through, and I believe they licensed their design, or there's some relationship there that I'm not completely privy to. They've got a 3-cylinder Coweta, 25 horse diesel engine in this thing. They've got going to be the same, hydraulic setup as far as I know to the Giant machines. They have changed a few things. They've changed how the steering works from the Giant machine. So this is a little bit more familiar design that you see on some of the more popular competitors. So you're turning as you twist. So that's kind of a natural as you kind of squeeze this handle in front of you. You can squeeze with your thumb to move left, and then with your pinky side of your hand to twist and turn to the right. And then to go in reverse, you just kind of grab this rear bar and then twist with your fingers. Really, really intuitive. This thing drives super smooth. And then your right hand lever is going to be for the loader control. Your auxiliary hydraulics, like running a grapple here. And then your constant flow, you'll engage with this button here. This thing is 2-speed, and I'll tell you, this thing moves quick. I don't know the specs for the land speed, in high gear, but I can throw that up so you guys can see that. But having been on several different brands, pretty happy with the track speed of these things. Now this is a wide track standard. I think it's a 15-inch track, and it's a really nice looking undercarriage track design. It is a mechanical adjustment for the track tension. I kind of like that. This will be steel counterweights. There's counterweights that can go underneath the operator platform there. This is a really comfortable standing platform here that pivots up and out of the way so that you can access the rear of the engine, radiator, all of that. Twist these off. I think it's a twist. Twist those off and you can access the engine there. They had the hood off of this and it looked like everything else Bad Boy's got. You can get to everything easily for service. So a lot of thought put into this design as well, as with all their products. The quick attach up front is just kind of the standard mini skid steer quick attach design. So Bad Boy does have a lot of products out of the gate that are compatible with the mini skid steer platform, but you can pick up pretty much any mini skid steer attachment and throw on the front of the Recon. So a couple of key specs here. The Coweta D902, it is 25 horse, 6-gallon fuel capacity, 12 GPM of hydraulic flow. That's so the ground speed is 4.3 miles per hour, 81.8-inch lifting height. So you'll be able to load into most any dump trailers, anything like that, without a problem. 2,300 pounds of rated tipping load. So, plenty of lifting capacity. I don't know what the breakout force of this thing is, but I would imagine it's above that tipping load, and so that's a pretty significant lifting weight there. I want to think the carrying capacity, and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but it's about 850 pounds is what their kind of rated normal operating carry capacity is. So something I really like here is that you can just kind of step back and look down, and you can see your fuel capacity there in a very reliable sight glass platform. Fill diesel right there in the rear. You've got tie down points there and there built in, and also you can tie down here in the back corners. Looks like you've got a post here so that you can actually jump start this thing or charge this thing if you need to without having to remove any panels. That's a nice little touch. I believe that's going to be your hydraulic reservoir fill point there. I'm going to stand up on this thing. So the operator platform is it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty simple, and I like that. Everything feels sturdy. Like I said, that's 2-speed. That's the constant flow. A couple different alarms: oil pressure, battery voltage. I'm going to guess that that's hydraulic temperature, oil temperature. And then you've got your hour meter, digital hour meter here in the middle. So another interesting entry that Bad Boy's got this year is this Revolt Fury zero-turn stand-on blower. And this thing, like everything else they build, is overbuilt, built with great intention, and built right there in Batesville, Arkansas. And the specs on this thing are pretty incredible. So they've got the 40-horse Vanguard EFI, same thing they've got on that terrain over there, and a lot of their bigger commercial mowers. And this blower is putting out 7,500 CFM. So this thing's going to be an incredible cleanup machine. 13-gallon fuel capacity, and it does have the separate pumps and wheel motors. So this is a full-blown commercial machine. You can run this thing 12 miles per hour, and I imagine usually how the way they spec things is that is with the blower running. Weighs 1,200 pounds. It does have the independent front suspension, so the ride quality is going to be awesome, as well as that platform that has some suspension as well. You do have the LED working lights. The blower kind of articulates around, I believe, 180 degrees, and it has some degree of tilt as well. This is kind of preliminary pricing on this thing. I do believe most of your dealers are going to be kind of in this promo range for this machine, and there's a bit of a price tag on this, but if you're shopping around at competitive models, I think you'll find that it's really a competitive price, and usually they have some really good financing as well. So this is definitely targeted towards landscapers and municipalities, but if you've got a lot of leaves and debris to contend with, I think this machine could really step up your game in terms of offering services to your customers on a landscaper level, or becoming very efficient managing property like a municipality or a park or something like that. So another exciting addition to the Bad Boy lineup. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the Revolt Fury. Exciting new addition to the lineup is going to be these Bad Boy finish mowers. And man, again, built in Batesville, Arkansas. It's a Bad Boy's own design, and these things are built extremely strong. They actually do have the heaviest deck in the market straight out of the gate with these things. So if you're looking for a finished mower, you might as well shop Bad Boy, because I guarantee you their price is going to be competitive. And this is the 7-footer. And the build quality is going to be second to none. These are rear discharge finished mowers. The gearbox, so PTO driven, with belt drives and spindles. One of their key features on these finished mowers is kind of their proprietary height adjustment design. So I think this is a pending patent, but it is just literally on each side. You pull this pin and select your height, and you're done with it. So a lot of these designs are a 4-point design. It's a little bit cantankerous to change your height, but so not only has Bad Boy built the strongest finish mower on the market, but also the easiest to use. So check out the new Bad Boy finish mowers. We'll take a quick look at all of the new implements that came with the acquisition of the Terrain and that company in North Dakota. So they've got a really heavy-duty grapple that they're calling the Grab Pro. This thing is built really strong, so I think this will be their strongest grapple. But really good design there. I like having the cage to protect there, but also keep the weight down. So this is going to be kind of on the lighter spectrum of a heavy-duty grapple, but still built extremely well. Broom, hydraulic-driven broom. So I heard them talking about what they believe is kind of the better aspect of this design is this linkage here and how this broom pivots. Instead of having a single pivot point, this has two. Also, these stands are completely removable, so they don't get in your way at all when you're operating that broom. But really cool implement to add to the lineup. This is a combination tree shear and tree puller, so you can just remove those 4 bolts there, and this turns from a tree shear into a tree puller. Really good design there. This is their front brush cutter. Now I haven't looked at the GPM requirements of this brush cutter, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is not compatible with the flow of their tractors, but it's built for the Terrain or other skid steer type products with higher flow rate. Now, one thing that is kind of unique and cool about this design, you see they've got a Danfoss motor there, driving this belt system. It looks like a 2-blade system. They've got a really easy design for taking the belts on and off, because it is an eventuality that you break a belt in this type of design. Anything belt driven, but it's nice that there's design thought there for easy belt replacement. It's like a little bit of a pusher blade there, angle blade. Trencher, roller, compactor, pallet forks. Those are all for your Recon, the mini skids. There's one more machine that I wanted to just briefly touch on, and I've got to hurry before I miss my flight. But this is a hybrid commercial zero-turn lawnmower. What these guys have done is put a small Kohler gasoline engine on this machine. It's got battery power, and then it's also got a generator. So I want to think that the runtime on the battery pack itself is a couple hours, and then you can kick that little gas engine on, and it charges that battery bank, and you can continue to mow. So kind of a unique concept. I don't know pricing or anything on this machine just yet, but kind of interesting the way that they've picked up this hybrid design and put it on a commercial machine like this. So again, I'm really excited about all the new products that Bad Boy has come out with this year. They've also come out with a line of pressure washers, one of which has the Honda engine on it. So if you're in the market for a pressure washer, you might check those out too. But let me know in the comments which one of these products you're most excited about. Is it going to be the Terrain, the Recon, the mini skid, some of the new implements, pressure washer? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. For me, my favorite is going to be the Terrain. I'll probably do a complete separate video on that machine, and we'll be trying to get one in the store to do a demo and a more in-depth review of that as soon as possible. So again, thanks for watching the channel. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you next time.
Maybe you've got lawns to mow, maybe you've got fields to grow. I tell you right now,